Hi guys, welcome back to the Home and Homestead. My name is Rebecca and today we'll be doing some gardening where we do some planting in a 5-tier vertical planter. I'll be using the same vertical planter that I had last year, but this year I'll be doing some different plantings of both starter plants and seeds. So follow along while I plant my 5-tier vertical planter to make a vertical garden that'll be pretty on the patio or deck. So here I have my 5-tier vertical garden all disassembled. So I have the 5 different tiers and the base plate. If you want to check out more on this particular vertical garden, you can check out a video I have and you can see exactly which brand and what versions and options that they have for purchasing this vertical planter. So first what I did was I cleaned up the different layers of the tier for planting, and I just used some Dawn Power Wash spray and the garden hose. You can check out my video on how I make my Dawn Power Wash refill, and I use that around the house and the yard as well as for gardening. So now these tiers are all nice and clean, good as new, and the base of each one there's this little screen that the water trickles down through and sits at the base of each of the layers. So whenever you're planting in your vertical garden, if you're doing seeds or immature plants, you want to try to water each section, and then once the plant is established, in theory, the vertical planters you can water on the top and the water will trickle down and water all the various layers. If you're concerned about it, just water each of the plants if they're looking a little more thirsty to you. So first what we're going to do is add some soil to here. I have some Pro Mix, the potting mixture this time. Last year I did the all-purpose, so I wanted to try the potting mix this year. I enjoy using the Pro Mix and I think it works well for my plants. So let's get some of the soil into these different layers. Alright, now that we have all 5 of the tiers filled with the soil, now we can start planting what we want in each of the different layers. So I have some annual plants here as well as seeds. So I have some Calibrachoa, which is a really nice annual plant. It really spreads and will hang over the edge of the planter really nicely. And it's a peach and burgundy and yellow color. Kind of has a petunia-like shape to the flower. I have 2 different types of marigolds. I have a French marigold here as well as some seeds for a different variety of marigold. And I have some really pretty silver greenery here. It's called Silver Dust or Dusty Miller. And I also have some licorice plant here. I really like the licorice plants because then they really add some crawling and draping off the edge of the planter, so it adds some nice interest to the vertical garden as well. So on the top layer I like to put the Calibrachoa. I really like the look of this flower and the color variety that it has. So I'll remove it from the container here. It's all one big plant. So this will work really nicely on the top. Eventually it'll fill out this top layer. So just loosen up the little root ball structure. And fill it back in with their soil. It's already almost covering this whole top layer, and it'll keep spreading and drooping over the side. It should have a really pretty look to it. Let me set this aside. Now for the next 4 layers, what I'm going to do is plant and kind of keep the plantings off to the edges. So first I'll put some marigolds. And here there's 4 of the marigold plants. So again, loosen up the roots a little bit. Stick them into there. I think I'll do one of the plants, then on the other 2 remaining edges, I'll put some seeds. These will grow to be about 6 to 8 inches tall. So the seed shape is a little different. They're just these long, kind of stick-like seeds. Just want to put them about 1/4 inch below the surface. Works best to just kind of place them on top and then gently cover with the soil. You can space these 2 to 3 inches apart. I'll just kind of place them throughout the layer. Place this one aside. Now for the next layer, I want to do some greenery. So I'll take the silver dust or dusty miller plant. And these will grow about 10 to 12 inches tall. So these can go onto a lower tier of your vertical garden and look nice as they climb upwards. Just loosen up that root ball. Just cover it with the soil. Okay. Now I'm going to do the marigolds again. And I'll also add some of the licorice. So I'll place the marigold in. Let's see if we can separate some of this licorice apart. Okay. I was able to make a few different clusters of the licorice plant here. Okay, now I'll do the final layer. So let's do our final marigolds. Then I'll put a little silver plant in the corner here too. So for the different varieties that I have a vanilla cream marigold, which is a French marigold, and I have an apricot calibrachoa, which is full sun, and a silver dust or a dusty miller, which is full sun to part shade, as well as a licorice plant. And that's full sun as well. And I did some petite yellow marigolds. And again, these were seeds from the dollar store, so they were 4 for $1. Alright, so now I have all 5 layers of the 5-tier vertical planter planted. Now let me get everything a nice watering and I'll show you how it looks all assembled. Alright guys, here we have our 5-tier vertical planter all planted. This is a really nice way to get some greenery on your deck or patio. It has a small footprint, so it doesn't take up a lot of room and sure makes a statement. These vertical planters make great gifts, as well as gives you an opportunity for planting in a small space. I hope you enjoyed our time together while we did some container planting and gardening while we planted our 5-tier vertical planter this year, using flowers and greenery. If you'd like some other suggestions on what you can plant in your vertical planter, you can check out my video on what I planted last year in my 5-tier vertical garden, as well as some other videos for container planting. Well, if you're new to the channel and haven't done so yet, I would really appreciate you subscribing. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. See you next time. Take care.